everyone. So I'm back. Today I have a special guest with me, Miss Armin Kalita.
Hi everyone, I am Armin Kalita. I am a PhD student at Rutgers, New York.
So she is in Houghton these days, so I thought to talk to her about some of her PhD life and some of her research life, and then we'll be going a little bit towards like the myths that I personally have heard before I joined PhD and some of the myths that she might have heard, and then we will try to debunk some of the myths and also say what we heard and if they came out true or not, like some of the scary stories maybe. So let's talk about her research because it's super interesting. So Armin, what do you do in your PhD physics research?
So I work in the field of atomic, molecular and optical physics. To be specific, I work in extreme matters. So what happens is that, I will give an example. So whenever there is a rocket launch or something, you see some distortion that comes in, it happens in the air below the shuttle, right? And those are actually shock waves. And if you want to study them, we want to simulate them in laboratory conditions. And we do that by passing X-ray lasers through very small droplets of water. And we are able to produce these shock waves in laboratory conditions, and we want to study their properties, what is the exact pressure, how fast this shock wave moves, and study like that. And we use like topics like optical microscopy and knowledge of some compressible fluid dynamics to do so.
Nice. So yeah, it is definitely interesting, especially if you're into rocket science and stuff. So okay, myths and debunks. Personally, when I came to PhD, or like before I came to PhD, I was really scared about it. I always thought I would not do PhD because, first of all, many years associated to PhD, many years, and I did not know if like I would be fine with it. So did you always plan to do PhD? Like I never planned to do PhD until I did my PhD.
Actually, no. I was like really confused about it, but once I set my mind that I want to do PhD, again, I also heard a lot of myths. Personally, I wanted to apply in the United States of America for my PhD program, but what was happening was that the first myth that I heard in the application process was that you need at least 2 publications to even apply.
2 publications?
Yeah. That was what I was hearing from my seniors and other whoever was giving me advice at that time, that we need at least 2 publications even to apply, even to be considered. But I still had a few references in USA who were already studying here, and I talked to those students and they told that it is not true and you should start and applying. And then I started, the first thing I did was I started emailing different professors from different universities, and I was surprised that I was getting response. And at that time I got some confidence that maybe it is not true, that okay, I can also apply and I have a good chance. What about you? Did you have a similar experience?
I did. So no one, as I said, like I never thought about doing PhD, so it was like literally diving into PhD. So I never heard about especially I did not actually talk to anyone to be honest, if like what was needed. I just dived right into it, and but definitely people were like, I did hear that you need stuff like not just publications, you need stuff like being an all-rounder, you having like everything. It sounds superficial to some extent because you cannot be so many things, but definitely me and Armin, like, did you have publication before you joined PhD?
No, I did not.
So yeah, like the myth is debunked. We both did not have any publications before we started our PhD, and I don't know about other people. I have many friends who did not have their first publication before their PhD, but there could be some publications. Like you can definitely have publication. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Yeah. I did hear one more myth that after you join your PhD, you have to be okay with the condition you're at. Like, like you have to be okay with your advisor even if you're like not happy with them. You have, like, even if like your days are, or like your years are going bad, you have to be like you have to endure it, because that is what it takes to be PhD. Like I heard people, like people did tell me that like this is what it takes to become PhD, and it never made sense to me. And I was always scared about that, like, oh, I have to stay miserable and sad for so many years. Yeah, like, what do you think? Like, have you heard about that?
Actually, I have a little bit of experience in this. Before, I was working in a different university in computational optics, and it was a very good topic, but it was not something I wanted to do. I wanted to work in experimental physics a little bit, and so I changed school in between my PhD, like after spending 1.5 years.
Like, not just advisor, you just changed the whole university.
Yeah. I changed the entire university. I transferred. It is not impossible. You always have that option. You also have the option of changing advisor, but for me it was even bigger than that. I changed the school totally, and yeah, it needs a lot of paperwork, but it's not impossible.
Yes, like, most important is, are you happy, and do you think you can stay in that particular environment for like 5+ years? Like, personally, I have changed advisor, but it doesn't exactly count, because like, it was right away in the first semester. But like, yes, at least I think we have a culture here where it is normal to change advisor. Like, people actually say that, like, if you're not happy, try learning new things, but also try to see where you fit in terms of research, in terms of your career and stuff. Like, you don't have to just stay with them just because, yeah, like, I don't know, like, yeah. So, like, what all have you heard except that?
I also have a lot of students who just joined the PhD without having an advisor at first. I think you were one of them, right?
Kind of yes and no, but like, the department appointed an advisor. But yes, you don't even have to have an advisor before that. You can go through the application process. You can just like apply to the university and get selected, and the university sometimes appoints the advisor to you according to your application. So you write a statement of purpose, like essays and stuff, when you're applying to universities, and they read those essays and SOPs and see what you want. You say your likes and dislikes, your preferred field. Like, that was the process. And then according to that, if you have not yet chosen an advisor, they appoint an advisor for you to try out, and that's how thing goes. And then if you like, you stay with them. If you don't like, you can change. It's all up to you. And you should treat PhD just as your regular life. It's a part, like, it's a process to your next phase. Not like, it's not a death sentence basically. You can change things in PhD if you want to.
Definitely.
So I have one more question, Armin. So I have heard that you kind of need to have like project proposals ready if you're applying to like just like in USA or like UK and like areas like that. India already has a system of entrance exams, and you don't have to have those kind of stuff. So what do you think, like, does someone need to have their like project ideas or proposals ready by the time they are like applying their PhD? Like, what do you think?
No, that is not true. The only thing that you need is that you should have good knowledge of the basic subjects, whatever you're applying to, whatever program you're applying to, in this case physics. And also they check whatever knowledge you have about your master thesis, whatever project you did, how was the project, and how much you learned from it. They do not expect you to have knowledge about what you are going to do in your PhD.
Definitely, because we want to learn, right?
Yeah, because it's a learning process. It is, but you can definitely have a proposal if you have something in mind, but it is not a requirement. I did not have a proposal ready. You do have to write a statement of purpose to apply, and there you can include whatever subjects you have learned in your undergrad or in your master's, and also you can also write about what are your interests, and if it syncs with your professor, with the advisor, whoever you want to work with, and I think they will consider you. What was your experience? Did you have a proposal ready?
First, like, I think almost everyone in, like, whoever know me kind of know that, like, I had always been interested in, like, biology and photonics, but like not just photonics, and I still have that interest, but my PhD is not anything close to biology, like far away from that. So I had no proposal in just just PhD or like just photonics or anything. And when I went to my advisor, I was like, I'm interested in that, like this, and he was very clear that, like, he doesn't do anything in biology, but he's open to new ideas, new projects of the field that he is doing in. And that was like really nice to know that, like, your advisor is that open, and also he has his projects, ongoing projects, if I am interested in contributing in them. So I started off in, like, taking one of the ongoing projects and started, like, putting my ideas into it, or like how I can finish, or like how I can reach the end goal of these projects. So he just introduced me what the project was, or like what was going on, and after that it was my journey, and he kept helping me in if I am facing a like a dead end or something like that, like if I have any issues. And
that
I'm
was
seeing
one thing, like when I applied, I was like, when I changed school, I knew everything that my advisor was working on, and I definitely wanted to work with him. You always have that choice, and those projects were initiated by him, but then after that it becomes your project and you contribute. They are always there to help you, but it is your project, you contribute and work everything on it yourself. Yes, that was my same experience as yours. Yes.
Yeah, like always, like after you choose a project, or after you choose your proposal, like after you're done with your proposal, like legitimate proposal, after like about 2 years ish, that is your project, and have ownership to that, like, and look into what you're doing, be passionate about that, and be interested about that. And basically, I guess that is it, like, just like take that project as yours, and it becomes yours. Like, your advisors are literally your advisor, or like your advisor or guide, or whatever, like the word you use for someone who mentors you. They are there for that purpose. They are there to advise you if you get stuck, but that is now your journey, basically. So Armin, earlier you said that, like, you were in a computational environment and then you changed to experimental. How was the shift? Like can you tell me, like, how was computational life and how was experimental life? Because timeline also kind of changes, right? Like in terms of computational
do I changed field? It is the experimental field is very new to me currently, but I can speak for other students who work in experimental. There is definitely the difference in the timeline. Computational work can be done quicker. It's not easier, it is quicker to finish. Like, you can expect to get a PhD degree in 4-5 years, but experimental work can go to even 6 years, I have heard. It is all relative, that is all.
So I think, like, some people need like 2 papers, or like international, like, conferences and stuff, and that's usually the minimum time, like minimum things.
I think it is again relative to universities and departments. They have their own criteria. Like my current university, my department, they have a criteria of 3 minimum peer-reviewed papers, and at least 1 conference paper. And I think every university and every department has it different, but they definitely have a certain criteria.
And also it's about you and your advisor too, when your project ends, and like if you have you think you are brave enough to venture for your new transition after PhD transition. So sometimes advisors just like are there with you with your projects, so that like and they help you with the transition, so that you have enough time where you're finishing your project and also looking for your like postdocs and stuff. So it's also dependent on like how are your things with your advisor sometimes?
It definitely helps. Also, it is dependent upon not only your relationship with your advisor, but the entire committee. You always have a PhD committee, which consists of 3-4 professors from the university and also outside the university, and also your relation with the department chair. And these are, I'm not talking about personal relation, but professionally how you're performing and they know about
exactly.
it.
Yeah, okay, so we're almost like to the end of the video. Armin, thank you. Do you have anything to talk to the viewers, like whoever wants to join PhD, like the new people, like kids who want who are interested in, like maybe interested in PhD or like but are confused? Like I was definitely confused when I thought about PhD.
I think it is very common to feel that way, and I want to address to all the interested students that if you want to apply, you just have the main criteria that you need is that you need to be passionate about whatever you want to work in. And yeah, I think we helped you in understanding some of the myths, and yeah, all the best for your future if you want to apply in PhD. And Sushri, thank you for having me.
Yes, and also before we end, I do want to say that you don't even have to like know physics to become a PhD physics. Yeah, like you can be a chemistry student and go to physics.
Yes.
You can be biology student, go to physics. You can be physics student, you can go to biology. You can be anything. All you want, all PhD needs or is like you need to be passionate or to your new life. You need to be passionate about the things you want to do, else it becomes a burden. So yeah, like be passionate about whatever you would be wanting, like you want to choose for your next phase. And if you don't want to choose PhD, that's also fine. But if you want to, then yeah, be really passionate about it. So yeah, thank you, have fun, and tell me what you liked about this video. Tell me some of your myths or like some what you have heard, and we might also would like to clear if those are myths or not, or if they are actually true nightmares. So yeah, peace, thanks,
bye guys.
Bye.